My name is Rel Vash, a merchant captain from the Valari Combine. We Valari were a long-lived, risk-averse people, and I was no exception. My greatest thrill was negotiating trade deals over sweet wines and avoiding pirates through well-charted routes. One of those routes, unfortunately, ran close to the edge of human-controlled space, in a sector they called the Blood Verge. The name alone made me uneasy. Humanity had won it after a brutal war with the Varkal Dominion, and stories of what they'd done to take it were still whispered in spacer bars. On the day everything changed, my freighter Star's Promise was hauling a shipment of rare minerals to the Lurok frontier. The trip was smooth until I picked up a distress beacon, a human warship, HSS Tyrant's Fist, heavily damaged, adrift and venting atmosphere. Every survival instinct screamed at me to keep going. Human warships had reputations. Deadly, secretive, and proud. Valari doctrine was clear. Don't meddle in human military affairs. But something in the signal, the raw desperation, pulled at me. Against my better judgment, I diverted course. The Tyrant's Fist was a wreck. Hull plates were peeled like fruit skin. Half her turrets slagged, and her main drive offline. The crew's biosigns were flickering, many dangerously low. No pirates in sight. Whatever had hit them had already left, perhaps assuming the kill was certain. I patched in and hailed them. "This is Captain Rel Vash of the Valari Combine merchant vessel Star's Promise. You are in distress. Permission to assist." Static. Then a ragged voice, female, iron in every syllable. "Rel Vash. You board us, you save my crew. You'll have humanity's favor. Do you understand me?" I didn't, at least not fully, but I agreed. The rescue was chaos. I patched atmosphere leaks with emergency foam, stabilized the power grid just enough to keep their medbays running, and personally carried unconscious crew to my freighter's life support pods. In the end, I saved 46 humans, including their captain, Mara Cade. Before she was evacuated, she gripped my arm with surprising strength. "You've done something big today, Valari. You won't understand how big until the time comes. When humanity owes you a favor, expect the unimaginable." I chalked it up to human dramatics. Middle the call. 5 cycles passed. Life returned to normal, or so I thought. My shipping business grew, I paid off my debts, and I told the human rescue story only rarely, as a mild conversation piece. Then came the Shuthari War. The Shuthari were a predatory insectoid species, infamous for their swarm reclamation campaigns. Fancy words for stripping planets bare and enslaving or devouring their inhabitants. The Valari Combine was unprepared. We had relied on treaties, not fleets, for safety. When the Shuthari descended on our sector, it was slaughter. Our defense ships folded within weeks, and entire colonies went dark. My homeworld Velith Prime was in their path. I fled with a convoy of refugees, dodging Shuthari raiding ships. Every safe port was closed to us. Too risky, they said. Too dangerous to harbor Valari when the swarm was on the hunt. My convoy was running low on fuel, and the Shuthari weren't far behind. That's when I remembered Captain Mara Cade's words. It felt absurd, calling in a favor from an entire species. But desperation outweighed dignity. Using my long-range comms, I transmitted on the encrypted human military frequency Mara had once programmed into my ship. "This is Captain Rel Vash. 5 cycles ago, I rescued the crew of the HSS Tyrant's Fist. I was told humanity owed me a favor. Well, I'm calling it in." I didn't expect a reply. I got one in less than a minute. "This is Admiral Mara Cade, United Terran Fleet. Rel Vash. Hold position and transmit your coordinates. Whatever happens, do not panic." Her tone had changed. The warmth of gratitude was gone, replaced by the cold precision of a predator scenting prey. The unimaginable. For the next 6 hours, nothing. Just the quiet hum of my engines and the occasional flicker of distant stars. The refugees whispered, some angry I'd wasted fuel to send a pointless signal, others too tired to argue. Then the stars moved. It took me a moment to realize what I was seeing wasn't a shift in position. It was arrival. One by one, vast shadows slid into existence around us. First I thought they were planets. Then the details sharpened. Metal hulls kilometers long bristling with weapons arrays. The Terran First Fleet had come. They didn't hail me. They didn't need to. Every Shathari signature within 12 parsecs vanished from my sensors, either fleeing or destroyed. Human ships accelerated in perfect formation, flanking my convoy like guardian beasts. When the Shathari arrived, they didn't even get to fire. The human fleet opened with a barrage so intense that my sensors overloaded. The black between the stars lit with white lances of particle fire, and the Shathari ships simply ceased to exist. It wasn't a battle. It was an extermination. One of the human dreadnoughts, the Indomitable Will, slid alongside my freighter. A bay door opened, and a smaller escort vessel emerged, docking with my ship. When the airlock cycled, Admiral Mara Cade herself stepped through. She hadn't aged a day in my eyes, though her uniform now bore the gold insignia of supreme command. "You called in your favor," she said simply. "So here it is. We're not just saving your convoy. We're removing the Shathari threat from Valari space. Permanently." I was stunned. That's not a favor. That's a war." She smiled faintly. "To you maybe. To us it's Tuesday. Middle to climax, the campaign." For the next 3 standard months, I traveled in the shadow of the human war machine. They didn't just repel the Shathari, they hunted them. Every hidden nest, every staging ground, every swarm cluster, they were found and burned from the stars. The humans fought with terrifying efficiency, but it wasn't blind destruction. Where Shathari had enslaved Valari, humans deployed ground forces to liberate survivors. Refugee fleets were escorted to safe zones. Entire shattered cities were rebuilt with prefabricated human modules. I watched as human engineers reactivated orbital foundries over Velith Prime before the Shathari could destroy them. Within days, production lines were running, feeding the war effort and Valari recovery at the same time. The Shathari tried to retaliate once, sending their largest swarm fleet against the human flagship. I was aboard the Indomitable Will when the attack came. "Multiple swarm waves inbound," the tactical officer reported. "How many?" Mara asked. 600 ships, Admiral." She nodded. "Good. Saves us the trouble of chasing them." The battle was chaos to my eyes. Thousands of weapons discharging in coordinated firestorms, but to the humans it was art. Every move anticipated, every enemy countered. In less than 3 hours the swarm was gone. After that, the Shathari stopped coming, ending the payment. The humans stayed until the Valari defense fleets were rebuilt and our trade lanes secure. Then, one by one, their massive ships slipped away into the void, leaving only the Indomitable Will behind. Mara met me on the observation deck. "Debts paid," she said. I tried to speak, but words failed me. You saved my people. You didn't have to." She cut me off with a raised hand. "You don't understand, Rel. Humanity doesn't measure favors the way others do. When someone saves one of ours, we don't just pay them back.